Hello, it's been a long time. I drew this today, as you will have just seen. But I failed to unpause the recorder. I took like a break. I don't know what I did. I think I might have kind of eaten some cereal or something. It was really good. Anyway, I forgot to unpause it, and so I don't know how much you missed really. I didn't really keep track. But whatever you missed, I'm sorry about that. Hopefully it wasn't too much. So I thought I'd make up for it by doing a bit of a kind of a tutorial thing-ish. Partly because I feel bad that I screwed up the video, and partly because I kind of am acutely aware that if I just don't do it now, I probably will decide, oh, I'll do it later, and then I just won't do it for kind of like 4 months or something. But before that, here's a quick kind of life update / why this looks kind of a bit weird. With this, as in the blankness on the page and it being kind of looking quite edgy and arty, that's partly. There's two reasons. It's partly laziness, in that it's just not an appealing prospect to have to fill in like fully and well the whole of the body, when really the only fun bit, in my opinion, is the face. Maybe the hair, but I'm never any good at hair, so I just kind of get grumpy about it. But so I thought I'd leave it blank for that reason, and also this sort of artistic flourish is far beyond me, and actually it's just kind of plagiarized. My brother showed me this artist on Tumblr, who I've forgotten who he is and what his name is, so I can't like send you to him, but you know, anyway, he showed me him. He's really damn good, and he does this sort of stuff a bit, and I thought, oh well, I'll do that as well. Needless to say, I haven't done it as well as he did, but, you know, it was worth a go. So, also that was a picture, as you probably saw, that I was working from. Again, I don't know who did that. It was on DeviantArt. I didn't make a note of who took it. Probably someone who's really good at art. Anyway, so, yeah, that, I hope you enjoyed watching me do that. Right, what are my top tips for Photoshop? Here they are. The first one is basically that I'll make a new layer quickly. If you have a graphics tablet, which basically you're gonna need if you're going to paint in Photoshop. I mean, you can scan in drawings and fill them in with color with a mouse, but really to kind of like blend colors and to paint and draw, you need a graphics tablet. So, and by the way, they aren't that expensive. You can get them for you can get Bamboo, like basic ones, which by basic I mean like they have all the features that really you need, and any more you'd be getting kind of excessive probably. You can get basic Bamboo tablets for about 50 quid. The one I have at the moment is 70 because I thought, you know, let's go mad, and then I just don't use it enough. But anyway, first tip is, if you have a graphics tablet, you should have buttons on your tablet. And what I really advise is making use of them. Like, you can customize what they do, obviously, if you go into like settings and stuff. Can't really remember how I do it with my one. Probably go into the Bamboo dock and click around and find settings. So do that. What I have them with set to with my one is I have one of them is back, back as in like edit undo, because I use that absolutely all the time. If you just make a mistake, it's just really quick and easy, and you don't have to worry about going to edit or doing key things. So it's just really easy. One of them is the sampler tool, which is probably the most important thing you'll get out of this tutorial if you're kind of fairly new to Photoshop. But we'll get onto that in a sec. And the last one is brush. So let's, it's brush. These are all different types of brushes, so that's kind of another matter. But in terms of actually what I set my shortcut keys to, it's just B, which if you tap it on the keyboard would get you brush. I think I gets you sampler. Let's check that. Yeah, it does. So I gets you sampler, B gets you brush, and Control Z or something like that undoes it. But I have them all set to keys on my tablet for kind of ease of access, because you use them so much that it's just good to have them like that. So that's kind of just a matter of ease of use of how I use Photoshop. That just kind of makes it easier. It's not really, doesn't describe what I do. The main other thing is to use the sampler and the brush in kind of unison. You should constantly be flicking between them if you want. I mean, it does depend on what kind of style you're going for, but certainly for the style I like to do, which is a kind of like brushy, quite smooth, but not ultra smooth colouring. What you should do, or what you should try doing at least, is, bear in mind this is only like my opinion. It's freaking not law. What I do is, if I want to blend stuff, I will colour it in, say, okay, and let's take some yellow as well. It's probably not the nicest blend, but that's kind of a good example, because not nice blends are harder to blend. So what I do is, you have this, so let's zoom in, because why not? You have this, and that looks kind of skanky and a bit shit all round. So what I would do in this situation is I would do that. I would click on my button that gets me the sampler, and I would press on that midpoint between the two colours. Notice that you have this colour wheel, and whatever you're sampling, it sets against your currently selected colour what you're sampling. So I've now sampled the kind of mid-range, so it's showing me that I've sampled the same colour. So I'd do that. I'd then click back to brush, and I'd kind of work it into the red a little bit. And then I probably click on the red and I work it back. And you can kind of see, if you do this quick, that eventually you start getting kind of like a smoother transition between the two. And it doesn't, I mean, they're not nice colours, so it's not going to look great. But if you did that with like yellow and orange, it would look quite nice. So that's the basic idea of color blending, is to use the sampler and to use the brush and use them in unison, and that's pretty much how you blend color, as far as I know. It's certainly the easiest way I've found, and I kind of like how it gets you these blocky transitions. Like, it's not like a gradient, it's kind of it looks like it's been paintbrushed in, which is what I want. I don't know, I think that sort of stuff looks good when it looks like it's been paintbrushed in. So that's basically what I've done all around here, and it just allows you to use any color you want and make it blend in. So, have bits of yellow, orange, blue. They're not colors that would normally go together, but just like if you were painting in acrylic or something, if you use the blend tool, the not the blend tool, the sampler tool, you can kind of blend them in a way that makes them look all right. So, I think one thing to note with that is if you don't have your tablet, your pen set to kind of pressure sensitivity, that's going to be really hard to do. It's going to be really hard. Right now, I'm on some color. Actually, it might be a better example to choose a really strong color. I'll choose like red, dark red. So you can see that color I just chose looks really strong, and it's like a block. But if I go like this, that's a pretty weak red. It almost looks kind of like peachy pale, and I don't know, it just doesn't look very red. That's because I have my pen set so that if I press lightly, I get a light color. And that is basically the fundamental thing that you need to do to get set up if you want to kind of paint in Photoshop. Because if you don't, you're going to have to be flicking between opacities, which is basically what it all comes down to. That's that thing there. You'd have to be changing the opacity of your brush to make it like fainter, instead of just pressing less lightly, which is far more intuitive. So, and if I went over that one again, it would be doubling up, so it's much darker. You can see again, it'd be dribbling up, blah, 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 blah. So it gets eventually, if you keep going or if you press hard, you get the color that you actually chose. If I straight up press hard, I get the color that I chose. So sometimes you want to do that, but the point is that you have the option. And so you need to do that. I don't know that I need to go through how you set that up. It's all in the Bamboo doc, and I'm sure there's another video on YouTube or something telling you how to do that. But anyway, that's what you need. And that is basically the fundamentals of painting in Photoshop. You need to practice using those things in the same way that you would, I don't know, in normal art. It's very much like normal art. If you just get used to using a graphics tablet, which can take a little while, then you'll find you're pretty much just feeling like you're I don't know, you're using a pencil or a brush or something. You press less lightly, you get a fainter color, which is often what you'd expect. So it's just practice really after that. That's the absolutely basic thing that you need to get. You need to learn how to use the pressure to control what sort of colors you're getting, and learn how to use the sampler and brush in unison to get merging and kind of blend your colors. The one kind of side note would be that I would really recommend, once you get used to that, you should make your own brushes. I usually use this brush. It's like I don't know. If I do a downstroke, it comes out like that. If I do a side stroke, it comes out like that. The equivalent would be like a square brush in reality. And I just really like using square brushes in reality, so I thought, I'll use that one. So yeah, do that. And the way you would do that is if you get up brush presets, you can. This is the sort of thing where it is actually quite helpful to show you how to do it. If you go in Window and you just click Brush Presets, it will come up here, which is I highly recommend doing that. And then at the bottom there's one of the kind of similar to the new sheet or new layer. It's kind of like a new brush preset, and you can use that to save a preset that you've made. And to make a preset, you go like that. You click on that one, and then you change all the settings. Just play around with it. I'm not going to kind of bore you with the details because I don't know them either. But, you know, play around, find a brush that you like, and save it. So I have that one as well. Sometimes I use that, and I have that one for kind of, I don't know, bullshit effects that I never use. So that's what you get. I hope this has been a bit helpful. It took me an amazingly long time to figure out by myself that you should use these things together, and that's how, I don't know. So if anyone else is having the same kind of retardation period as I did, then that should kind of get you out of it. Yeah, thank you for listening to me. It's been a pleasure, and I'll see you later.
A cold and wet November dawn, and there are no barking sparrows, just emptiness to dwell upon. I fell into a winter slide and ended up the kind of kid who goes down chutes too narrow, just eking out my measly pie. But I learned fast how to keep my head up, 'cause I know there is this side of me that wants to grab the yoke from the pilot and just fly the whole mess into the sea. Another slow train to the coast, some brand new gory yacht from way on high. I sink and then I swim all night. I watch the ice melt on the glass while the eloquent young pilgrims pass and leave behind the trail, imploring us all not to fail. Of course I was raised to gather courage from those lofty tales so tried and true. But if you're able, I'd suggest it, 'cause this modern thought can get the best of you. This rather simple epitaph can save your heart, your fallen mind. Fate isn't what we're up against. There's no design, no flaws to find. There's no design, no flaws to find. Fast how to keep my head up, 'cause I know I got this side of me that wants to grab the yoke from the pilot and just fly the whole mess into the sea.